Now I am going to explain the circular flow model. This circular flow of income is a very useful way of modeling the economy, and from this model, we can derive two very important conclusions. One conclusion is how we can look at the economic growth. The second conclusion is how we can measure economic growth. Well, let's get straight into it. The circular flow model demonstrates how money moves from producers to households and back again in the endless loop. In an economy, money moves from producers to workers as wages and then back from workers to producers as workers spend money on products and services. The circular flow model's primary goal is to understand how money moves within an economy. The economy can be thought of as two cycles moving in opposite direction. We have the goods and services, following from individuals to businesses and back again. Both of these cycles are necessary to make the economy work. When we buy things, we pay money for them. When we go work, we make things in exchange for money. In circular flow model, we get two fundamental economic agents. We get households and we have firms. There are four factors of production to firms in the form of land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Each factor of production has a reward. Let's take labor. The reward to labor is wages and salaries. These are workers. The reward for land is rent. This includes land that is rented or purchased as well as other components like natural resources and raw materials. The reward for entrepreneurship is profit. These are the people who put the other three resources together to create a successful business. The reward for capital is interest. This money used to buy the tools that labor implements to convert land into goods. So these are the four factors incomes that households receive. They spend them on the goods and services made by firms. Now, let's focus on the second conclusion on how we can measure economic growth. For example, we could save a part of that income, saving known as S. So what else? It could be tax away, taxation known as T. So we don't have to spend our income on goods and services made in our economy. Necessarily, we could spend some of it on goods and services made abroad, input spending. So inputs here known as M. So these are ways in which incomes that are earned in the economy may leak out of the circular flow, may not be spent directly on goods and services produced in our economy. So savings, taxation, and inputs are known as leakages from the circular flow. Well, there are many other ways in which expenditure can take place on goods and services made in our economy. Firms could spend that's known as investment, the letter I. Who else can spend on goods and services made in our economy? So, there could be government spending, known as letter G. Who else can spend on goods and services in our economy? That's known as exports for us. So, exports here denoted by letter X. So, when firms spend on capital goods investment, government is spending, and exports, these three things are known as injections. In the circular flow in which money can enter our economy outside of consumers' expenditures, investment, government spending, and exports. So we have leakages and we have injection in which we can in the international sector. But how we can get these two fundamental conclusions? So let's compare the level of leakages and the level of injections, whether the economy is growing or not. If injections are greater than leakages, there is more money entering the economy. If injections are less than the level of leakages, it means more money is going to be exiting our economy than is going to be entering it. Therefore, economic growth is going to be decreasing, and if the two are equal to each other, economic growth will neither be increasing nor decreasing. Therefore, we call that macroeconomic equilibrium. Leakages and injections are imbalanced. They are equal to each other, so we can illustrate economic growth using our circular flow of income. But we can also get to an actual figure of GDP. Our measure of economic growth to GDP is our measure of economic growth standing for gross domestic product here. And if we can measure any one of these three things in our circular flow of income, we can get a precise number of GDP, and then year on year, we can say if that number is rising or falling, and therefore, we can precisely measure economic growth.